Okay. This is really cool. Soon YouTube is setting up, done redirecting. Okay. Share on Facebook. Um, I'm going to share.
So I linked the petition. Can you guys see it? It's in the chat, but I don't know how to pin it, so it doesn't move. Oh,
Hold on, Christopher, can you see that?
Um, streaming. I can see this, the chat. Yeah.
hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. Eddie, you don't have Facebook, right?
Me?
Uh-huh.
I do.
No, Eddie.
Oh.
I do.
Okay, so I'm not gonna tag you for now. Okay, so okay, we are just double check.
So what time is the Zoom meeting?
Okay, right now. Okay. So now we are live, and
Is the link on Facebook?
yes, the link on Facebook, and yes, you can go into my Facebook and then share from there. I'm
Did
going
you
to.
share it with the PYC students?
Huh?
Did you share it with the PYC students?
Yes. Um, we're sharing this with. Okay, so we're ready now. Well, thank you. I'm going to be checking different pages here because I'm sharing to
You
different
have
websites.
2 pages, Christina. Which one is it?
You can share you can share, I just share it with the neighborhood health center. Oh, mine is the one that has my, hold on.
Okay. I think I signed.
Try the one that has like a scarf.
I got it.
Great. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys. It was just taking me a little bit to try to share the page with different organizations and different sites. So, bienvenidos. Voy a tratar de hacer esta conversación en bilingüe. Ustedes pueden hablar en inglés. Yo voy a tratar de captar alguna información y tratar de traducir un poquito de lo que ustedes dicen. No soy traductora. Vamos a esperar que la audiencia se vaya uniendo, pero quiero que esto sea una conversación. I just want you guys to have a conversation about college. We have Christopher Valencia. Chris, thank you so much for being here again. Christopher is a junior student at the University of Pennsylvania. He's a mechanical engineer now. Eddie Cuba, he's a senior at Patterson Charter School, Science and Technology, and Jennifer is a senior at the Rosa Parks High School. So also I am, for those who don't know me, my name is Christina Tone. I'm the Assistant Director of the Neighborhood Health Center, which is a space we have for the community in downtown Patterson, where we help members of the community with everything and anything that they can, they ask for. We focus on immigration, education, job readiness, health, and but people come to our space looking for different type of information. I'm also a housing counsel. I specialize in foreclosure, and I try to help people with their issues with housing and rent and mortgages. So, un poco para que me conozcan, soy la asistente del directorio del programa de la ayuda al vecindario. Estamos localizados en Patterson, en el downtown de Patterson, la 32 Spruce Street. Y es un espacio donde la gente viene a buscar ayuda sobre diferentes temas, inmigración, educación, salud. Los podemos referir a diferentes programas en la comunidad, donde todos los programas son gratuitos, en el programa en la organización de New Jersey Community Development Corporation, que es una organización que tiene más de 25 años. And I'm proud to be here today with three of the Patterson Youth Council members. And I want you guys to introduce yourself. Eddie, thank you for being here. Tell me a little bit about you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eddie Cuba. I am a senior at Patterson Charter School for Science and Technology. I am also one of the representatives of Patterson Youth Council. I don't know.
Tell me a little bit about the recent achievement you had.
So should I talk about Youth of the Year?
Yes.
Yes, Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. So I have been chosen to be one of the nominees for Patterson, not for Patterson, for the National Youth of the Year. So it's basically Boys and Girls Club does a yearly competition within the youth, and they decide to honor one of their youth to be Youth of the Year. I have been in Boys and Girls Club since I was 6 years old. I have grown with them. I have learned most of my leadership from them. I believe it's a great opportunity for anyone to join a Boys and Girls Club to maybe have the same opportunity as me. Hopefully, once coronavirus is over, I can fully compete to be the National Youth of the Year, but I am the selection for Patterson and Passaic.
Awesome. Congratulations, Eddie. I know you've worked very hard always, and everything that you do, you put a lot of effort in. I know you're going to be able to accomplish anything you want in life, and I want to congratulate you for that. So, Eddie es uno de los estudiantes que ha recibido el premio del Joven del Año, y es un orgullo para la comunidad de Patterson, y es un orgullo latino también, ¿no? Tenemos a Jennifer. Jennifer, congratulations for your acceptance in college. So tell me a little bit about you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I go to the Rosa Parks High School of Fine and Performing Arts. I'm a communication arts major. So we basically do like journalism, writing, poetry, screenplays, anything along those lines. I recently got accepted into Barnard. I was planning on going to American University too, in DC, but Barnard offered me a better like financial aid package. And it's also the Women's College of Columbia University. So not only do I get access to Barnard resources, but Columbia resources as well. And they have a very good mentorship program, and they offer a lot of like just support in general. So that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome, Jennifer. I am so proud of both of you. for all the accomplishments and everything that you're gonna, work hard in the future. And I have nothing to say here. My third panelist is Christopher Valencia, and I don't know if people know, but he's my son. But right now
Hey,
I
Mom.
am
How you doing?
very proud mom. But tell me a little bit about you, Christopher. Dime un poquito de ti.
All right, I'll say it like I'm speaking to my mom. So, hey everyone, my name's Chris, Christopher Valencia. I'm a third year student here at the University of Pennsylvania, rising senior. So now today was the last day of classes for us. So I'm in my last year at university. Um, yeah, so that hasn't hit yet, but it's hitting soon. And yeah, no, I was also part of the Patterson Youth Council about 3 or 4 years ago. And honestly, I still miss it, and I learned a lot from those experiences that I still take with me every single day. So yeah, that's me. We'll go into it later, but that's me for now.
Thank you so much again. Thank you for introducing yourself. So, Christopher, you just mentioned this is your last day of the third year. One more year to go. How do you feel? ¿Cómo te sientes ahora?
I feel pretty good actually. I mean, obviously not with what's going on right now, but uh, I do feel like, in 4 years, I think after the second year, I was kind of like, all right, half of it's gone now, and let me make the last 2 years count. And I think this year I kind of capitalized on that. So, with 1 year left, I'm trying to look on the positive end and think like, let me see what I can, bang out in the last year while I'm here, while I have the amazing resources. So for me, it's just looking up. So yeah, I feel I'm a little scared, but I'm also super excited.
How about you guys? This is your last year as seniors. Eddie, how do you feel?
It's kind of sad. Everybody speaks about their senior year, and it sucks for us not to have one. But I mean, there are bigger things going on, so we're just gonna have to deal with it.
How about you, Jennifer? ¿Cómo te sientes? How you feel?
Yeah, so as of right now, my school just informed me that prom is canceled. Um, Regardless if we go back to school or not. And we don't know if graduation will happen. We don't know if we're gonna get our diplomas mailed. It's very, very sad. I feel like especially for Patterson students, because a lot of the graduates are first generation, or like the first generation to graduate or like go to college. So not to have their graduation ceremony, definitely like it's heartbreaking because they all like worked for their diplomas and definitely like their achievements. But like Christopher said and Eddie said, like what can you do? Like you just have to keep making progress and invest in your future. So as of right now, like I definitely recommend like students like researching into like scholarships or like programs that they can be able to join for next year or when they do have the opportunity to do so.
Well, you just mentioned something that really touched me, right? Because I experienced something like that, not the same, but something like that when I was about to graduate from high school. There were a lot of problems in my country, and there were almost a whole year where students, couldn't go back to school because the teachers were underpaid, and we were having a lot. The country was going through a lot of issues, and I left my country. Right before I was about to graduate. Well, actually, I left the school. I went to a private school for my last year, with I wasn't with my friends, and it was really hard. It really marked, created an impact in my life, because then I came to this country, and without graduating, without saying goodbye to my friends, and but I've always remembered that. So this is definitely going to impact you in many ways. So les estaba comentando a los chicos de que las experiencias de este año son diferentes. Um, Hay mucho, como Eddie dice, hay muchas cosas mejores, muchas cosas más que nos tenemos que preocupar. Christopher estaba explicando que es un momento que tiene, que lo estaba esperando, pero que al mismo tiempo también son muchas cosas nuevas y está un poco nervioso. Jennifer, que acaba de ser notificada de que no les van a dar el diploma, no se van a graduar. Y bueno, mi experiencia también, esa experiencia de no graduarme con mis amistades en el tiempo que quería graduarme, me afectó emocionalmente al llegar a un país también que era nuevo para mí. So I understand your emotions, and and I know it's overwhelming, and I know, Jennifer, you're working really hard right now with an initiative, right? You started an initiative. So tell me a little bit about that. Tú has empezado una iniciativa. Cuéntame un poquito de eso. Um, Jennifer, you're
It's a little mic's off,
okay.
or it's just it's not off, but I guess it's low, or it's just not.
Jennifer, are you on mute? How about, okay, so Eddie, tell me,
Check your sound system on the bottom right.
let me see if
I think I can give you an overview while
oh,
she.
hold on a second, hold on. I think I can unmute. I don't know why.
No, she just muted herself, but
Okay, I'm gonna unmute. Okay, you can take the mic. Okay, now you're good, Jennifer.
we're not.
I have her audio right here. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So mute the computer and unmute your phone. There's no echo. Yeah.
Okay, so
You can unmute Eddie.
just give me a thumbs up if you.
Yeah, but Eddie, you can mute the phone. So you
I
did?
did. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Mom, mute yourself. Okay.
My. I did.
Hello? Is it good?
Just text me. Just text me what you want me to say, and I'll say it for you while you figure it out.
All right.
Okay. While Jennifer gets situated, I will be giving like a little overview. So 1 second.
Digo, Jennifer, you can get out and go back in. Puedes salir y volver a entrar para tener más, para poder verte de nuevo. Okay, so tell her she can go back in. Okay.
Le mandé a decir.
Okay. So yes, if you can explain to us a little bit about the initiative.
Okay, so because of COVID-19, a lot of families and students were forced to stay home, and that resulted into home learning. Now, the way that the Patterson school system decided to do it was they decided to provide a packet that allows them to do work weekly, and every week they would either get a new packet or they would just continue with the packet that they have. And a lot of students felt overwhelmed because, as you know, we're not really used to this home learning situation. So that brought a couple of mixed emotions for students. A lot of students feeling overwhelmed, a lot of students feeling lost, like they're not learning anything, that what they may be doing is doesn't really have a purpose. And this initiative started because these students are feeling some type of way. They feel like they're not being listened to, and they feel like their education is not being put first. And we understand that there are a lot of things going on, but there are different ways that we could improve the situation. So this initiative is to get a certain amount of signatures so that the school system can change the way that they're giving work. I can say for my school, for example, we have online school, and we have to check in every day, and we have to do assignments. Well, we had to do assignments until 10 o'clock each day. And that caused a lot of us to get really overwhelmed. Some of us depressed, some of us feeling very lost, because it's overwhelming when you're used to doing a certain amount of work in a certain time period, and then everything is just changed and then thrown at you. And what we did, we all came together and we sent an email to our directors telling them how we felt, everything that was going on. and because of that, they did change it to more lenient and more accustomed to our new time schedule. Because once somebody's home and they have to do work, it's not the same motivation as when you go to school and you're face to face with a teacher and learning things from the back. Jennifer, there?
Jennifer, can you hear? You have your mute off, so maybe you can call in. So, explicando un poquito lo que dice Eddie, mientras Jennifer arregla el sonido, pues sí, últimamente las emociones están mezcladas de los estudiantes que tienen están teniendo bastante trabajo, tienen que completar sus tareas, tienen que cumplir con todas las responsabilidades del colegio y encima tienen que estar pasando por todo lo que estamos viviendo en estos momentos. Entonces ellos empezaron una iniciativa para pedir que los profesores, pedir que las escuelas acepten simplemente la nota de pasar, que ellos puedan escoger, que no haya una nota en específico, sino que puedan tomar un curso para pasar o para perderlo. So Christopher, I know the colleges and universities have also similar initiative, right? You go to University of Pennsylvania. So how are they doing with this?
Yeah, so basically what they have set up right now is an optional pass-fail system. They made it optional mostly to kind of curb the fact that students might be applying for stuff in the summer or for work reasons, or just mainly people have varying circumstances, and some students felt like they still wanted some kind of grade for the year. They did put in a lot of work for the first 2 months, and they were still continuing to do it. Just figured like they didn't want their work to go to waste, so that's why they made it optional. Whereas other people literally do not have access to the internet because they're from other just terrible internet access, and so it's not really like equitable. So they just made it optional, and it's actually invisible to the teacher or just the professor as to which students are taking the course pass fail or not. So from their perspective, the students are just it's as if nothing really happened, but then the students can kind of gauge how much work they actually want to put in based on their circumstances. So it's I think that's what they started with that at first, and they made it so that the deadline for when you can choose when your course goes pass fail is later. Like I just registered my courses for pass fail yesterday. Out of like 6 classes, I took 1 pass fail optionally. And so if you feel like you haven't been able to put a lot of work, it's just it's optional. So I didn't have to. I did it because of just like my own personal reasons, and I have friends who did all like 4 of them because their internet access after like COVID was just not great. And exam reasons, you take an exam, they give you extra time online, but if it's just slow, like yeah, it's just not the same environment. Obviously you can still study, but they just try to accommodate as many people as possible. That was just kind of what they did, but they kept pushing the deadline. So at first it was about 2 weeks ago, but nobody had grades yet. So how do you know if you want to take a course pass fail if you have no grades or anything? And so then they pushed it until after, I believe, the second wave of work. And then now finals are next week. And so now it's just everyone chose what they wanted. But yeah, that optional method still kind of worked for everyone. I think that was the best way to go. But definitely on the table was mandatory pass fail. People were putting up mandatory pass fail, and like people were worried about what employers would think or what schools would think. I'm sure it's different at the high school versus the college.
And you were saying we were talking about that. What are your thoughts about the high school initiatives?
Yeah, so my opinion is I think that at least at the high school level, I do feel like I can see from the teacher's perspective or just the school system's perspective that like if you're a junior or senior, you're probably a lot of universities probably, if you're planning on going to college, a lot of universities use those grades as like some kind of way to assess how students are getting, and that's like a majority of how they assess university entrance, like admissions. And so I could see the argument for like, oh, like we gotta, it was probably better if we give them grades. They can, also I can, it also is inconvenient if, I have heard that they've just thrown massive work after the online transition. Like my courses have been throwing, I think my courses have been a little bit more lenient because via like giving students more time for exams, like they gave us an extra hour for an exam. Um, Same work, but it was already a lot of work. But I can see how, for like, let's say like high school teachers, they would probably give students just like, they've never done the online transition before. So they just give students just tremendous, like so much work. I can totally see that being a thing. And yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I think I see both sides. So I can see there being a reason for like, I'm not sure how optional pass fail would work in a high school setting. But definitely ways of addressing everyone as equally as possible would be the best way, because I think teachers are also held accountable for grades, et cetera, et cetera. So for them, it's also an issue of we get this across, but be fair at the same time, because there's no way students if students see this tremendous amount of work, they're not gonna do it, and you're actually doing them a disservice and yourself as a teacher a disservice by doing that. So look at both sides and see. I would say there's some way in between.
Es interesting, es interesting, es muy interesante ver las dos perspectivas. Como estudiante universitario que te toca también, pues todo esto afecta a todo el mundo, los niveles de presión cuando eres un adolescente en el high school es lo mismo que un joven en la universidad. Entonces, uno quiere ser consciente, quiere ser fair, ¿no? Quiere acomodar a todos, pero a veces hay ciertas cosas y ciertos sistemas que no ayudan. Pero en estos momentos, Eddie, Jennifer, are you there? Let me.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Finally. I had to restart my computer.
Oh, that's great. So tell me a little bit about the initiative. Eddie already explained to us. Christopher was giving us his feedback. So, ¿cómo empezaste esto? ¿Cómo creaste esta iniciativa?
So, wait, can I turn on my camera?
Right.
Let me show the video.
Right.
Oh, it doesn't let me turn on the video. Okay.
No, I'm gonna make
you have to make you host.
I'm gonna make you a host, and then you send it back to me.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone.
Welcome back.
Okay, so the idea came when like a lot of seniors, especially in my school, were overwhelmed because I know my friend, her dad got COVID because he was employed at a hospital, so he got it like very at the beginning of March. Well, when we first started doing the remote learning. And so doing work for her was very difficult because she would have to worry about like turning in assignments, but her parents still needed her support. Like she had other siblings to take care of, and she had other responsibilities in the household. So it was definitely a burden for her. And a lot of students started to speak out about the same being put in the same situation where it's like they were so stressed on schoolwork that they couldn't take care of their like mental health, or if their family members needed them, they couldn't be there like emotionally to support them. And we were seeing that a lot of, because they gave us packets, it wasn't work that we were accustomed to. It was just work that the district was giving to us as like busy work in a way. And so necessarily we weren't really learning anything. And a lot of the students, much younger students, didn't understand their assignments. And another thing that you have to think about with the like Patterson Public School District is that we lack resources. So I had like younger siblings having to do homework online, but they didn't have any like laptops. So it was either we had to be sharing the same computer, or one of them had to be rushed to finish their work. So it's like you don't get the same, like not everybody's situation is the same, and that's what like we have to understand. And I know that they distributed like laptops for the high school students, but now it's like the elementary school students still need equipment as well, but they don't have the resources to do their work. And so I just feel like like right now, especially like in we're in critical times where we don't know like how long we're gonna have to be like this, or we don't know how long this the remote learning is going to last. So we really, well, they can't expect us to fully be at our best, you know, when there's obviously like other issues we have to worry about. And
The stress
pass
also.
or fail, yeah, the pass or fail will basically be like give us more flexibility. And New York is doing it where it's like the work that you did in school will be counted towards your actual like grade, like GPA. But other than that, it's all the online and remote learning work that you completed will be pass or fail. So it doesn't really um affect you in a negative manner as a student as long as you did your work. So I feel like that's very good because a lot of students, I don't think it's fair to say that a straight A student goes to a C average just because they didn't have the resources or just because they didn't have the equipment to do their homework. Like I don't, that's definitely not fair. And
Oh,
so
interesting.
we made the survey, me and my a couple of friends from my school. We not the survey, the petition. I actually linked it right here, but we made it like 2 days ago, and it's gotten over like 1,500 signatures. So we're still pushing for that. Up until this point, we don't know how the teachers will grade us. We don't know if they will be adopting the pass or fail. But hopefully, this petition will really show the district that their students are like facing difficulties and to really push for being more lenient.
So, prácticamente han pasado o han creado esta iniciativa más que todo para crear conciencia de lo que están viviendo ustedes como estudiantes, en donde viven en una comunidad donde no tienen muchos recursos, donde las familias tampoco tienen, familias con varios niños no tienen tantas computadoras para cada uno de los estudiantes y les es difícil terminar las tareas a tiempo, utilizar una misma computadora para todos, la responsabilidad que tienen los padres, um, la situación emocional, el estrés que ustedes están pasando, no solamente por quedarse en casa, siendo jóvenes, acostumbrados a siempre estar saliendo y haciendo cosas afuera, sino también ahora quedarse y pensar en el futuro, especialmente ustedes como seniors, ¿no? Que supuestamente tenían muchas cosas por hacer ahora y que prácticamente todo se está quedando frustrado, right? So, Christopher, I feel there's a lot of stress, a lot. How are you guys dealing with mental health? I mean, and I know, in college you have resources, right, Christopher? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I can only really grab from my immediate courses and just asking questions that I've reached out to some professors too. I think the way they're dealing with it is not necessarily on a case by case basis, but for students who like really had a hard time. For example, I have a couple of friends who had like whose parents also got affected by COVID, and like mostly required to stay home, like zero outlets of leaving, and not great internet access, and just being in an isolated environment isn't the most conducive to like learning in general. Like what, like there's no way you'd care if someone in your family is affected. So what they're doing is at least some teachers got the syllabus and they just decided to cross out the prior syllabus and said, okay, these are some of the resources that are available, but they emphasized it. Like for example, like CAPS at Penn is like I forget what CAPS exactly stands for, but it's basically the some CA psychological services, and they have like psychologists, psychiatrists there to help students who come in, and they're just mostly saying like, hey, if you all need help, make sure to reach out to these individuals, or reach out to the professors personally. So they're really taking a personal effort to like accommodate students who, like, for example, I have friends who have like specific learning needs, ADHD, more time on exams, and this just makes it worse. And so for them, like, and just others who are affected, like personal case by case basis, plus CAP service, plus just making sure you reach out to as many people as possible and inform teachers, professors, friends at the same time. That's like how they're mostly, there's no like, besides just emphasis on CAPS, I would say that's like the main way they're dealing with like mental health. And yeah, I mean, mental health for so many reasons, for like economic reasons. I have a lot of people who like came here from like internet, from like other countries. And so like, you know, you're studying here and then you get kicked out of the United States of America and you go back to India or Africa and like a war-stricken country. Like that's so bad. Like there's a lot of not great scenarios, and I'm sure they're strong people and they could deal with it, but also they shouldn't be expected to, you know, it's not the most equitable thing when you have someone who can go back home and be, you know,
Yeah.
comfortable, and someone else who is not. That, I would say that's a case by case basis, obviously, but you'd be surprised how many students actually that happens to. It's like not in the numbers, and it's usually not statistically mentioned, but it's a lot.
Eso es verdad, Christopher, que hay muchos casos, diferentes, difíciles, tanto en el high school como en las universidades, especialmente con estudiantes que han trabajado tanto para viajar a este país y continuar la universidad, y de pronto llegan a la universidad y dicen, bueno, tienes que regresarte y no hay de otra. El trauma psicológico, el dolor,
It's definitely a lot. I have my roommate, one of my roommates, or one of the people that we housed for the summer, he's from Austria. And so he came here, he took out like, I probably paying like $20,000 to come, like he really invested like a whole year to come here, and not get the university experience that, you know, he saved up for. So that's extremely unfortunate, but you know, the best we can do on our end is just offer him like housing for an extended period of time.
Pero que
it's
hard. Pero qué bueno que ustedes están juntando. It's good that you guys are supporting each other, right?
Yeah, mutual aid. Mutual aid is a very that's another big one. I'd say it's mostly been reliant on like communities and stuff. I mean, just whether it's like students getting together and like serving as like people to help each other out, whether it's like, I know people got together to offer free storage for people who are getting kicked out, free housing for people who are not free housing, but just like helping, you know.
Yeah, and I
that was definitely a big way that they helped themselves.
And I want to mention, I'm sorry to interrupt, Christopher, but thank you for sending me that spreadsheet, and that actually led me to create a resource guide for Patterson. We're using that, and this is how communities help each other, right? Information, it's important, and how we distribute the information. So there's a mutual aid network that's already that's an initiative that was created in another state, and you know, for disasters and emergencies. And so we copy that model at the neighborhood health center, and we're distributing, we're sharing, we're adding information that, you know, pertains to our community, and we're sharing that with all the other students, with the community, and that's been helping a lot, you know. So this shows how, you know, we need to grab the important information and then share it. So le estaba agradeciendo a Christopher por haberme compartido los recursos que los jóvenes, al ver esta desesperación de no saber dónde se van a quedar, de no saber cómo ayudarse emocionalmente, de no saber dónde ir a comer, etcétera, etcétera, crearon una guía de recursos, una página de Excel impresionante, y una página de un documento llena de recursos que al compartírmela, pues he creado una guía para nuestro centro de ayuda, que estamos siempre actualizando y que se la estamos compartiendo a la comunidad. Y esto es una muestra de cómo debemos de copiar los modelos de recursos que en otros lugares están ya trabajando y ya haciendo, ¿no? Nosotros no tenemos que crear muchas veces cosas, simplemente podemos copiar modelos que pensamos que pueden funcionar y podemos ayudar dentro de donde nos estemos, ¿no? Si podemos utilizar la computadora, si no sabemos utilizar la computadora, aprendamos a compartir esos recursos que quizás otras personas lo necesiten. So, once again, I thank you for sharing that information with me. And, I also share it with the Patterson Youth Council. And I know Jennifer is trying to help me with an initiative. I want to thank you, Jennifer, for that too. As a young student and Eddie, I mean, you guys are involved in everything. So what are you guys doing now, to try to help the community and the students like you? ¿Cómo que están haciendo ustedes ahora como jóvenes? ¿Qué quieren hacer? ¿Qué ideas tienen para poder ayudar a los demás estudiantes?
I can go first. So one idea, well, there's this page on Instagram, and they're a nonprofit also. They're called Make the Road NJ. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
But they're a big help with like the undocumented community and like a lot of like first generation high school students. So every day of the week they have a schedule for a live. And in the live they talk about different topics. Like yesterday I know that they were talking about how they made a survey for high school students, specifically like seniors, but it's open to like all high school students around New Jersey. And it was asking how like the COVID pandemic had how has it impacted you? And so students could like anonymously write in and see and write about like their basically like their situations. And so the whole point of that is just to like see where everybody's at and like what resources are needed. I know like the week before they did a financial aid letter reading, because a lot of students get their financial aid letters but they don't know what it means. So they were going through this is all like available through like Instagram Live, but they were going line by line, like helping people understand their financial aid letters. And as well as you can just like DM them, direct message them, and they'll help you. They'll assist you for free. And so anything like with the college process that you need, you reach out to them. So I've just been like sharing their work and referring some of my friends to it.
Awesome. That's awesome. And Eddie, have you find anything interesting or doing something for?
During this quarantine, I have found myself so busy with like preparation for college and getting all my work turned in, because it's still a lot, even though they reduced it, it's still a lot. But community wise, I've been sharing the NJCDC forums. I put a link underneath my Instagram, and I usually post like little things for people if they need help with food or if they need anything like that, so they can go on there. Also, I've been telling people where they can get food. For example, tomorrow at Boys and Girls Club, starting at 10 o'clock, they will be giving out food packages such as oatmeal, canned food, rice, soups, and such things, so that people can get those. That's basically what I've been doing.
You guys are working hard, with everything already, and still have a little bit of time to share. Just by sharing information, you guys are helping a lot. And I know with us, with Christopher, this time the senior year was very difficult as far as getting scholarships. So do you remember, or can you tell us how you're still in college and still looking for other resources of income, and how was your experience getting scholarships? Because me puedo imaginar que los chicos tienen preguntas sobre cómo conseguir las becas y si puedes seguir consiguiendo becas estando en la universidad, si todavía hay eso, porque el dinero es lo que más va a faltar en el tiempo de la universidad. Y tú tienes esa experiencia, Christopher.
Yeah. So I can attest to that. Most of the scholarships that I found, I do believe, were only one of them was from my junior year. So I would say I found the majority of my funding for university at like middle of senior year. near the end as well. And the way I remember doing it, it was mostly, it's weird because my scholarship experience was kind of just, at first I tried to find like, not to be weird, but it was like mostly Hispanic scholarships. Just there's just so many different ones available, and that was the one that was, obviously you go with what's first available, and then if it's in your face, you're not gonna like throw it away, and then you search through everything else. But you can't apply to everything, so just like doubling down on like 3, 4, 5 of the very like difficult ones, which were the ones that either like offered more than I think like 5K in scholarships, were very difficult to like just apply for in the first place. And so I mostly focused, I only like spammed like 10 like quick ones, but there was like only 4 or 5 that were like, I was like, I'm just gonna put my cards in on these and see what comes out. But I think in focusing on the ones that were like where I really related to the most, that's what they're looking for. And I think especially getting that, like, I think this really stood out to me when I got one of the McDonald's scholarships. It was like ACER, HACER, Ronald McDonald House Scholarship. That was like, it felt like it had my name on it. And that's what I remember looking at that. I was like, wow, this is interesting. And yeah, no, I applied and I put all my energy into something like that. I found similar ones as well. But it turned out that by the end of like senior year, I got like all of the fast food oriented scholarships. So like McDonald's, Burger King was like $1,000, and like I didn't get Wendy's, but I got like some other one that was it was
Coca-Cola. And you were
it was
saying
just weird. I missed KFC and all the other ones. I don't really eat fast food. It's funny because they gave me like money, but I don't even eat like fast food. But I don't really like McDonald's or Burger King, but
but you thank them for that, right?
yeah, I'm very thankful for the fact that other people eat McDonald's and Burger King. But yeah, no, I'd say like, yeah, it was just a very, I found them senior year and I just kept applying, and they're still out there.
And you mentioned that they resonated with you, right? So
Yeah, it was they resonate, and you can write a lot when something, you can think critically about like whether this relates to me or not. I definitely was very critical, like about some things, like, what, me? No, like this is like, that sounds absolutely nothing like me. And so I think that was mostly and you still apply anyways, but there are some things that like that it has your name on it and they're just waiting. And so those are the ones that I think might have been by luck as well. I did search for junior year as well, and didn't apply till like middle of senior year because I was too busy applying. I was doing other things senior year as well. I didn't do early decision for universities. I was still taking like, I think it was like the SAT my November or the third time. Still had a lot of exams to take, and didn't finish applying for all my colleges until like January. So I was very, not late, but like not early. So I was still there was still always ongoing stuff. I think I was still applying to things until the end of senior year, basically, when everyone was trying to put their hands up a little bit. I was still trying to find some things, because right when everyone's not looking, that's when you gotta strike, that's when you gotta go and go behind the scenes, open the back door, and try to find some stuff. That's kind of what my strategy, at least, for doing it.
Those are great tips. So Christopher nos estaba diciendo que siempre que ha estado, según él empezó tarde, pero le dieron varias becas donde no pensaba que él iba a recibirlas, que fueron Ronald McDonald, Burger King y cosas que él ni siquiera consume, pero sin embargo tenían los scholarships, sentía él que tenía mucha resonancia con las cosas que él había hecho, con las cuales él había participado, y que él pensaba quizás que podía competir para ganar. Entonces hizo mucho trabajo. So, and I know Eddie and Jennifer, you guys, I've known you for probably over 2 years, almost 2 years. And I remember you guys when you first came, and Eddie and Christopher, I was sharing the scholarship list, and you guys had a lot of questions about how to get the money, where, and you guys have a background of doing a lot of things. So how was the experience of you guys getting into the colleges that you wanted, and to get the scholarships that you need, or you guys still looking for scholarship? ¿Cómo ustedes están haciendo? Porque vinieron hace un par de años, cuando nos conocimos, y tenían muchas preguntas. Me preguntaban a mí dónde consiguió mi hijo los scholarships, les entregaba la lista, hacíamos muchos trabajos y muchas presentaciones para college readiness like we're doing now, pero siempre ustedes han estado buscando este dinero. ¿Cómo ustedes han encontrado? ¿Qué es lo que han hecho? Si nos pueden dar unos tips a los jóvenes que están ahora, ¿qué es lo que ustedes han hecho, Eric? What have you done?
Okay, so I'll start. Looking for scholarships is hard, but it's not hard at the same time. I don't know if you catch me, but when I was looking for scholarships, it was very much me looking for scholarships that I can fit into and that I know that I can excel in, because there are so many people also submitting for the same scholarship. So sometimes you doubt yourself, saying I might not get there. There might be somebody better than me, but it never really hurts to try and submit applications. And also what I've learned is that extracurriculars count. Everything counts. Everything that you do that you think that doesn't have any purpose for you doing, it does, because people pay you and thank you for doing those things for your community, for your school, for anything. Community service hours always count. They always count. My advice is, whatever opportunity you have, you should definitely take it, because it will help you in the long run. For example, I even in the Boys and Girls Club, I stayed in Boys and Girls Club like ever since I was little, even though that I was thinking nothing's gonna come out of it. So I shouldn't be doing this for such a long time. Like, I should grow up. Da, da, da. It's like they've helped me now. They're helping me pay for college now. And also for that, you can put that on your resume. You can say that you did so and so, that you've been committed to something for a very long period of time, and people see that. You never know who's watching you, so you always want to try and take advantage of any opportunity that you may have.
Awesome, Eddie. I'm so proud of you. How about you, Jennifer?
Okay, can you guys hear me? I'm just making
Yes.
sure. So for me, like, even going to school, like at performing arts school, was always hard, because there was definitely things that I had to like do, like after school curriculars, like helping the shows, or like entering a contest that was like for a grade, and I'd be like, why do I gotta do this? I'm a freshman. Like, why can't I just do like regular schoolwork? Like, I don't understand why I have to do all these competitions, all these contests. And I remember one time I just entered this one writing competition, and I actually won. And I was like, what? I did this like last minute, okay. But just like take advantage of the opportunities that are awarded to you. Just do your best and just put yourself out there, I guess. And but also be true to yourself. Like, know that whatever you're getting involved in, you're doing it to your fullest potential, and you're doing the best.
That is so important, especially, okay, you're trying to get the help, you're trying to apply for everything, so you can get what you need, but you also have to do it from your heart, right? It's always, it's important to get involved, but it's important to get involved in causes and things that you really really want to give your best, and do the best for others, and that help out, especially with us. Christopher knows, it's hard to start doing community service, like you mentioned, Eddie. When you're young and you're like, you get tired and you're like, oh, why am I doing this, why am I going there? Like, I like you said, I gotta grow up. We went through a lot of this, right, Christopher? There were a lot of times where he was tired and busy, and was like, oh no, I can't do one more meeting, I can't do one more volunteer work. But inside of him, something came out, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it this time, and this is what I need. And so you got to work with your heart, and you have to put a lot of yourself and right, Christopher? How was the experience with?
No, I mean, yeah, I completely agree. I would say, you know, there hits a point where obviously you're not going to give 100% of your time to stuff like that. And you do also have to give time for yourself. I mean, I think I tried to emulate at least a bit of, there were people who were 100% dedicated to the community that they lived in, and they rubbed off on me 100%. Like, it's very hard for it to come like internally. Like, I would say no one is like that. But just to be empathetic towards, like, you know, the place that you lived. And I still feel it to this day, like where I was raised. I'm always like, heart's always there. So it's like, but I have friends of mine who encouraged me. They were like dedicated, and I'm not gonna underestimate how they definitely, like, if you compare, like, they were 100% more dedicated. But just being around people who really cared, that's like very powerful and something that rubbed off on me. And that was when you said, like, yeah, when, you know, you got to put yourself out there even if you're tired. I think that was, I got that mostly, but just from like being around other people who also really cared. So that just like shows how, even if, like, you know, it's like a kind of like positive psychology a little bit. Like, you have to start it, or someone else has to start it, and it rubs off. um just an environment where everyone's not like that. I don't think I'd want to live in a place like that. So, especially in a community like that where nobody really cares about, you go outside, no one really cares about the community. I think being either being the initiative, being the change, or being around people who would like to make the change in a positive way, that's where they're kind of talking about, and what you were kind of talking about. I would say that's mostly, if I were to sum it up, that'd be what motivated me to eventually go, hey, you know, let me put more hours in. You know, I could be doing other things with my time, like, I don't know, go and play some basketball, you know, give yourself some free time, but also, like, you know, give back. You know, it's always good to give back. Your parent, you know, you go to school there and they pay for you to go there, so you should do your part.
Es verdad, hay mucha responsabilidad y tiene que nacer del corazón también hacer cosas por la comunidad, pero más que todo estar rodeados de gente que también da su tiempo a la comunidad, ¿verdad? Nosotros los padres siempre estamos muy ocupados, trabajando, haciendo muchas cosas, pero también podemos entender que los padres sabemos que los hijos quieren hacer muchas cosas, hay muchas actividades, deportes, quieren trabajar ya desde antes de que terminen la secundaria para que tener un dinerito para poder hacer sus cosas, como es muy lógico de los jóvenes, pero es importante no olvidarnos del servicio, porque el servicio comunitario desde muy pequeños hacen que los jóvenes puedan involucrarse y envolverse y también rodearlos de un ambiente positivo, ¿no? Nosotros vemos, especially in my community, específicamente en la comunidad latina, la comunidad de las minorías, trabajamos mucho. You know, we work a lot, but
we work hard. Yeah,
you know, 2, 3 jobs y no tenemos tiempo para dedicarle a los hijos las cosas y llevarlos afuera a compartir con ellos. De pronto vamos a la iglesia o de pronto a las reuniones familiares, pero hay mucho más que tenemos que dar para poder recibir, ¿no? Pero sin esperar eso, pues simplemente hacerlo de corazón. I know, Eddie, you've been involved in a lot of things, you know, you have, I mean, what are you, tell me a little bit about what the things that you've done, like what organizations have you joined?
Oh, it's a lot. Even my mom says it. My mom says that I'm always into something. I'm always included in something. And we've even got in a couple fights because I want to involve myself in anything that I'm allowed to be. For example, dance, swim team, volleyball, baseball, um, after school clubs, drama club, robotics club, Patterson Youth Council, Patterson Arts Exchange, president of the student body. It's just too much for me to remember right now, but I try to involve myself in everything. You know, it's good to have knowledge in different fields because you never know where you're gonna be in a couple years.
Definitely. Jennifer, you too. You've been involved in a lot of programs, right? And always looking to initiate, start something. And I remember when
Yeah.
you came to me and was like, I don't know if I can go to that college. I don't think. And we were having
Yeah.
this conversation. We're like, no, Jennifer, you can do it. No, que a veces los padres no entendemos la importancia. Yo creo que Christopher también ha pasado por esta situación, ¿verdad? De pronto yo he podido dar lo poco que sabía que he seguido de otras personas, de otros padres que han seguido esto, pero no sabemos muchas veces qué tanto es el potencial de nuestros hijos, ¿verdad? Pero hay muchos padres que están ocupados trabajando y no entienden qué tan grande es una posibilidad, qué tan grande es un programa. Y quizás por eso, Eddie, también tienes ciertos conflictos, porque quieres hacerle entender a tus padres qué tan importante es este programa para tu futuro. Y
Definitely.
Christopher al menos yo podía entender un poco, pero con su papá que trabajaba muchísimo, quizás no entendía la importancia de algunos programas, como lo podría entender yo. Pero también teníamos eso de que había muchas cosas. So Jennifer, you went through that, right?
Right. Like when me and Eddie, we bonded over like how much time we spent at NJCDC. Like we'd be there from after school until late, like every day. And there was always an event, and we were like, okay, we got you, Christina. We're going. Um, and so just to like sum it up, I've been like I started so many clubs at school. I started like a poetry club. I started this like K-pop club when I was in a sophomore year. In my sophomore year, I'm involved in the student government, class office, which is kind of the same thing. Um, and outside of school, like I even had a job. Like throughout all of this, I've like worked at Five Below, and I was like trying to like manage my work schedule, my school schedule, and like extracurriculars. And like I remember there's times where like my principal would be like, okay, Jennifer, we need you for something. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do that. And she's like, no, you have to do. I was like, okay, I can't say no to you. There's like a lot of opportunities to just to like be involved. I guess like going to school, like also like the knowing that I could do like photography or like poetry or like anything. Like and even like once I found out all the work that NJCDC did and the amount of resources that you guys provided, it really like helped because it created like more opportunities for me to get involved. And I felt like as long as you start somewhere and that like you put yourself out there and you're like actually like be dedicated, because there's gonna be moments where you're like, oh, is this even worth it? Like I feel so tired, I just want to sleep. But there was times where I was like, okay, now I have so much free time. I need something to do. That's how I feel like right now. Like I'm a person that needs to constantly like keep moving and be active. So just enjoy what you do and like as long as you're like passionate about what you're doing and starting some change, like the initiatives that I'm always working on, like just keep doing it. You're doing good.
That is the key. Be passionate about what you do, love what you do, and you all guys, girls, do the best. Hagan siempre las cosas del corazón, hagan siempre las
As
cosas,
long as you're like
and just to summarize this, yo les agradezco por participar hoy día conmigo y tener esta conversación, que es una conversación bonita, que nos libera de muchas cosas. Yo sé que tenemos más preguntas más adelante, que podemos hacer esto en unas semanas y volver a conversar, invitar a otros amigos de ustedes para también conversar de diferentes cosas. Christopher is giving us this, a little bit of his time, and I want to keep him involved with his community because, I mean, we
No, I
learn
mean, it's
from
great
him.
to stay. It's always good to stay close.
It is. I have a lot of parents, yo sé que a veces es un poquito, incómodo decirlo porque Christopher es un muchacho muy humilde igual que ustedes, pero es importante siempre mantener que la gente vea afuera qué es lo que ustedes están haciendo, el trabajo que ustedes están haciendo. Eso enseña a otras personas. Hay muchas personas detrás de nosotros que quieren saber cómo lo hicimos, cómo lo logramos, cómo llevamos a nuestros hijos a la universidad, cómo podemos mejorar nuestra situación. y depende de nosotros los padres que estemos envueltos y entendamos el camino, porque nuestra cultura y las minorías no las entendemos muchas veces. Y es importante que los padres sepan el gran trabajo que hacen ustedes los jóvenes para salir adelante, que llevan la responsabilidad, muchas veces escuchan el estrés que pasamos nosotros en la casa, o no hay dinero, o no hay trabajo, o tenemos recursos ilimitados y ustedes quieren hacer todo lo posible para ayudar a sus padres. So I want to, just end up saying that, I'm really grateful, thankful for, all of you that, are part of, our live in JCDC and the Neighborhood Health Center. Jennifer, ¿dónde te vamos a encontrar pronto? ¿A qué escuela, a qué universidad vas a ir?
I will be going to Barnard College of Columbia University in
Whoa,
New
whoa.
York City.
And what are you taking there? What are you, what's your...
Well, what am I majoring? So
Yeah.
we don't decide on our major until I think sophomore year, but I'm thinking political science with human rights. So I want to do law school after my undergrad. So I'm excited. Just, keeping the activism alive.
I'm so happy for you. How about you, Eddie?
I mean, mine isn't that big, but
You're amazing.
I'm going to Montclair State University, and I will be majoring in filmmaking.
Wow. Soon we're gonna be able to watch a movie. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be a Grammy award-winning director.
Yes.
Oh,
Seguro que sí. You're amazing. How about you, Christopher? Any plans for the future? What are you doing now?
Yeah, in the works. I mean, I'm still trying to get into the energy field. So that's like now it's like professions and stuff like that. So finish up school and hopefully try to not necessarily be in like the hard mechanical engineering field like aerospace. I don't think that's my thing. Definitely want to do something related to like energy in the utility company, electric company, or water, like urban planning or something like that. I'm in that kind of realm. So we're finding things. So it's always so many things here, honestly. So there's so many ways and routes, and no single one is clear. But I try to learn from as many things, and everything's somewhat connected. So yeah.
And I know you're reading a lot.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm always trying to inform myself of like new. I read a lot about engineering, so that's kind of where I'm at. Don't know if I want to go the whole grad school route, like the whole PhD. I don't think that's my thing, but definitely an option. I do like that stuff, and they fund PhD students really well here, doing research, et cetera, et cetera. So who knows? But I still have a year to decide. I'll be trying to figure out. Next year I'm graduating, so we have the whole year to decide on. They call it like a senior design project. So we kind of get to spend the whole year just designing a product. At least mechanical engineering students do. That addresses like a problem in the community or in Philadelphia or in the US. So that should be fun. That'll be most of my entire year.
Very excited, and
Yeah.
it's good to know that even though we're going through difficult times right now and everything seems to be so like, tan diferente y tan difícil ahora. I mean, that you guys are keeping up with everything that you're doing, and you're looking for more things and more, how to give back to your community, how to work for yourself, and aprender un poco más para uno, cómo ustedes continúan buscando recursos afuera. So you guys are doing a great job, and I hope to see you guys next time. We'll see if we can do that next week, and maybe come up with another idea, or check with other students and see if they can join us in the conversation. But thank you so much. We spent a lot of time, and I don't want to let you go, but it's so important because this is actually helping other people, with the information that they're getting right now. So muchas gracias. Les quiero agradecer de corazón, and that also counts as your community service hours. So muchas gracias. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay. Thank you for helping out here.
Thank you, Christina, for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. And I'll end the meeting right now. Thank you.
live. Bye.
I have no idea. Oh, I'm leaving. Okay, I'm